season is it's halfway done, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's the season of the comeback, yo. We got all these players just coming back. You know what I'm saying? Getting these 10-day contracts due to injuries, you know, and whatnot. Some people are just coming back from injuries. So we're gonna talk about a little bit, man. We're gonna talk about the ones that at least are important. So you know, you had your boy Kyrie, man. He finally got whatever it was situated to play in whatever games he's eligible for. So he had his first game in Indiana, man, and he also get to meet up with another guy. First day back, you know what I'm saying? T-day contract. Lance to make you dance, you know, and came back out here, man, to just, you know what I'm saying, put folks on skates, Lance, baby. Born ready, you know. And then, you know, other people, Klay Thompson, you know, we've been seeing the previews for that all season about him coming back.
2 years, he finally, 2.5 years.
Exactly. 2.5 years, man. That's that's tough.
Yeah. So he finally made his debut after the 2.5, you know what I'm saying, sideline injuries and things like that. So he came back against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then we had Joe Johnson. I don't know what to say about Joe Johnson. He got signed to the Boston Celtics, and that's pretty much it. So, you know, like I said, it's a year of the 10 days, year of the comebacks. I'm still waiting for Jamal Crawford to get his call up.
Yeah, why is he not getting that? That's odd.
I don't know, man. But you know, of these players we've seen so far, man, I'll start with Kev. Who had the best kind of like game one performance of the 2021-22 season?
Ooh,
if I'm going off of just stats, I will give it to Kyrie. Kyrie came out. He had that 22 points. Some assists, some rebounds. He kind of was all over the place. He was doing his thing, and knowing that he wasn't playing, to come back and just get back into the groove of that was pretty impressive. I could say the same about Lance Stephenson too. He's been pretty solid, and I think he might be a good pickup for the Pacers. But I gotta give it to Kyrie for the best game back.
Okay, all right. Reg, you got something?
I'll have to say you got to go with that storyline, man. We've been waiting on Klay Thompson.
Yes,
we've been waiting on Klay for so long. He came out and he just went back at it. Like, you know, there was a little rust here and there, but he didn't come in there like soft shooting. He was like, "Nah, I'm coming out here to ball." Threw up. I think they say he took 18 shots. I think he scored like something like I don't know, in the little amount of time that I saw, he had already scored like 10 points in like not even 10 minutes. Like he was out there being aggressive, doing his thing. So that was beautiful to see. Very happy to see Kyrie come back. You know, I think Kyrie been ready to play. Like he been staying in shape, doing his thing. He got to play with the team thus far. It wasn't 2.5 years. Like, so for him, like I'm really glad that he came back and played at a high level. I know a lot of people don't like him. He's a little controversial sometimes, but you know, they were seeing that they were having a shortage, and they're like, hey, we'll work with this guy. Doesn't make sense to not have him on the roster. And they went ahead and made that move. So that was exciting too. And what was our third? Our
Lance,
blowing your ear, Lance. You know, he came in there and dropped 20 in one quarter. That was impressive. He's also a fan favorite of the Pacers, so you know he was back there showing love to some of the Pacers fans that were in attendance, and I think for that team, that probably felt good to have him there. You know, so that's how I saw it.
Okay, all right, Deuce, man, what you got?
Hey man,
don't say Klay Thompson. Man. Don't say Klay Thompson, please.
You know it's Klay.
Got it.
31 months out of the game, man. Like, all right, I give it to you. If you look at just the game, Kyrie, he led the Nets back from like what they were down 20 points against, and that's impressive. But that's all we expect. Actually, I would say Lance. If you look at just the game, who expected Lance to score 20 points in the first quarter? Nobody. If you told me Kyrie did that, that's Kyrie. You told me Klay did that, Klay. Lance. I had to Google it to make sure, right? And I saw that when I was looking at the game. So just the game, I would give it a Lance because Kyrie and Klay, these are stars in the league. But you talk about the narrative, man. Kyrie, we knew he was coming. We didn't know nobody knew he was gonna play this year, but he wasn't injured. He was ready. This is policy stuff, right? Klay coming back from 2 injuries.
Yep.
Right. Perimeter player, 900 foot. He's never played in the Chase Center, man. Never played in the Chase Center. That's crazy.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Man, you bringing out some damn. I feel it. I feel it right here. And the journey back. These are big injuries. The rehab, the hard work.
Huge.
You talked about it in the post game interview, like how much it took just to get back in there. Like it's huge. That was a huge.
I mean, it's so huge. Draymond came out and started when he was injured. He couldn't play. He said, "I just want to be on the court with my brother."
Damn.
Come on, man. It's Klay. It's Klay. Hands down. That you can't beat that narrative, man.
Okay. Well, I can tell you who it's not.
True.
I can tell you who it's not. It's not Klay. Tell you that much. Hey, I like
What?
Klay. I like Klay.
Wow.
I like Klay. I like Klay. I can tell you who it's not. It's not Klay.
Why?
You know what I'm
Why?
saying? Look, they play against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers are pretty good. Very surprising.
Pretty good.
They're surprising. They're a team that is surprising most of the NBA. It came out of nowhere.
Weren't you just talking about how they wanted like top 3 defensive rated teams?
They
Oh,
are.
number 3 in defensive efficiency, and I
They're really good.
They still beat them by like 15 or something like that.
Okay.
They're the new Twin Towers. They got 2 7-footers in the paint. New Twin Towers.
I get that. Klay only played half a game. I understand it's a game.
Not even half a game. Barely half a game.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
He played 20 minutes. He played about a half a game. That's about half a load. Normally they probably play about 30 to 35 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I said probably about half. He did score. He scored 17 points. He did have
that thunderous dunk on both them boys in the Twin Tower. Bruh!
That 2 points.
Chasing it to his feet. There was a religious moment.
You're right.
He scored.
I don't know about religious, but
He shot 7 for 18. He was not Klay. He was not the Klay that we know to be. That's all I'm saying.
They all said that.
Huh?
Yeah, we wouldn't have expected that.
So what is the question? Who had the best day one game? You guys went into the story and the lore and the mysticism.
We agree with Kev, because even Kev, when he gave his answer, he specifically said, "Oh, you talking about just the game?" And that's when I jumped in.
Yeah.
I said, I agree with you with just the game.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the best player was Kyrie. He gave a good answer with Lance because of expectations and coming back from not being in the league versus Kyrie, who has been playing at that high level and even advanced to the playoffs last season. So he's definitely been playing at a high level. And if you look at what's around Kyrie versus what's around Lance Stephenson, like both are good answers. But with the narrative of what's coming back, like you said, okay, he wasn't as efficient, what we expect from Klay, but we talking about when he was at his peak. The man hasn't, if you took anybody off the shelf, I don't care if it's Jordan, if you talking about 2.5 years he hasn't touched the court, you don't expect some rust.
Okay.
So given everything he had to do coming, not just, I retired for 2 years, but being injured and having to work through that, like, that's why we put it up there. It's an iconic moment. It's gonna be an iconic moment. The day Klay came back.
It's a great average game. I'm not disagreeing with anything you said.
This dude is a hater. Oh my god!
I'm just intangibles. You gotta take the intangibles, the story perspective. I think it's a valid view of the sport because it's entertainment at the end of the day. So I think to bring the storyline into it, I don't know if it doesn't count for anything. I think it counts for something.
That's totally fine. You know what? If we talked about storyline and we talked about all the intangibles, you know what? Klay has the best story right now because, again, it's a comeback season. He had 2 very, very bad injuries, and he got injured in the championship game. So like, there's all this redemption and all this like bounce back. Like, I get it. Look, I like Big Trouble in Little China as a movie. The acting ain't that great. There's some questionable acting, but guess what? I'll watch it to this day because I know it's fun. It's fun. It doesn't mean they're great actors. They're not getting Oscars. Klay is just he played an average game. He was only in there for 20 minutes. He didn't even shoot 50%. He didn't even shoot 45%. He shot like 38%.
Yikes,
He wasn't even that efficient. From Klay who take 7 dribbles and shoot 12 times.
So you want a man who's been out of the game for 941 days to come back and play like he was in the championship game?
No, he don't want that. He don't want that.
We said who had the best day one game between the people who we had.
So who's your answer then? Because you're talking about who is not.
All right.
And also Kurt Russell could act. Sir.
Sorry.
No, Kurt Russell could, but not some of the other ancillary actors. And guess who?
Man brought a big trouble with a sliding side.
I was like, how long
He's been talking about
that?
He's been talking nothing about. He hasn't picked. Talking about half empty, man. Whoa.
Look, man. Look, this is.
What's your pick? Go to your pick.
I was gonna pick Lance and make him dance because no one saw that coming, yo. Look.
Now you talking about story and what people saw coming.
I'm just saying, but no one. Hold on, but I'm just saying, no one saw him coming, and. You know what I'm saying? They were beating the Nets. They were whooping the Nets. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. No one thought that. Look, I would have thought that he would have came in and probably did about 50%. The dude scored 12 or 19. He only missed 7 shots. Like that's, to me, I feel like that's the biggest surprise. I'm not surprised to see Klay be average on his first day back on the job. I expect that. You know what I mean? So, and also they played at home. He played with the most comfortable. They scheduled his comeback. He already knew, like, all that was like a mental thing he could prepare for. And no one saw Lance Stephenson coming in. The fact that it was so surprising, he got a contract for the rest of the season. Like, no one saw that coming. You know what I'm saying? So
it was his overall performance though for the whole 10 days, but yeah.
Yeah, but true. But I'm just, even then, it's consistency. But we talking about what they won. That's fine. I just said, and honestly, we haven't seen Kyrie since, so we don't know.
Well, they lost against Portland, and Lance, the game he played against the Knicks. I'm not sure what team he was on though. He played against the Knicks on the 4th, only had 5 points. So pretty much the rest of before Brooklyn. He never scored above 10 points. Never scored in double digits. 2, a whole bunch of 2s, some 6s, a 5. Brooklyn, Indiana, 30 points.
Hey, sometimes that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about that game, or we're talking about that game. Because if you're right, if we're talking about the whole like string of games that he's played, I thought this was his first game back. But if it is,
I think it's just his first game in Indiana. Being back with the Pacers, I believe.
I think that
makes some sense because he had 2 games prior against New York and Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know what team he was with. Maybe they bounced. Isaiah Thomas.
I forgot about Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he had a great game 1 against with the Lakers, and then after that he really tailed off. But then he went to Dallas and he played again well. So
I was like, I just saw you with the Lakers, and now you. Yeah, it's hard keeping up with these cats now, man. It's tough.
Yeah, they be shuffling Isaiah's AT around like crazy too. But I mean, I hear you with the Lance Stephenson.
I do.
So, but I mean, again, it's not to take away from anyone else. I think everyone played well outside of Joe Johnson. I'm gonna keep talking about how bad Joe Johnson did play because you know what I'm saying, people were really like that was news. That was just news. I'm like, why is this even news? But he's not even playing. So, but yeah, man, you know, Lance worked his way to the rest of like a season contract. Like that's crazy. Kyrie, again, he's gonna be there. We're gonna see him half the time. He's gonna be Kyrie. I don't think he's gonna be more or less than what he is. But I mean, it was still good. So yeah, that's just my pick. You know, Lance Stephenson. So yeah. Go ahead.
I'll also make a comment about Kyrie. There was a lot of talk about, you know, Kyrie this, Kyrie that, what he doing, what he's not doing, and how people feel about it. His teammates seem really happy to have him back on the court.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think guys who know him, especially in the locker room, they'll vouch for him. Like they really they think he's a cool dude. So you'll never hear anyone talk bad about Kyrie from the locker.
I know. I was just talking about, you know, the media saying, oh, like if you, or just us, you know, even commentators and sports spectators, oh, if you would just do this, oh, the team probably hates him, he's always distracting. But you know, and even reps from other places, you know, on the Celtics, when he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, he's this type of teammate, he's that. So just saying, like, seeing him on the court, it looked like people were happy to have him there. The fans too. I don't feel like the fans felt like, oh man.
I mean, Kyrie is I would love to see Kyrie play live, man. That's art. That's basketball art.
Yeah,
that was a treat for them. It's cool to get, like you said, it's cool to get two of the more unique individuals back in Klay and Kyrie in the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, Kyrie part-time.
I mean, Klay's gonna be pretty much part-time too, just like you say, he played 20 minutes a day. I don't think that, especially they already have a very successful season, I think they're gonna work him back in slowly. I don't see him playing a lot of minutes anytime soon.
He's gonna be probably captain. I don't see him playing the back-to-backs anytime soon. Exactly. Work him in.
Yeah, which is fair. Look, don't rush him back. He needs time to get back into game shape. So
I mean,
don't rush it.
Look, because the Warriors have that's a bad spot. Durant championship game, rushed him back. Klay, they brought him back the next year, another injury. So their medical staff they should have an entirely new medical staff right now.
That's just because ain't nobody talking about medical staff in LA right now.
Nah, ain't nobody talking about that.
So can it be possible that people just getting injured, or is it the doctor's fault that AD keep getting hurt?
Hey, well, AD fragile.
That's what I'm saying. Like we talking about the medical staff. I'm just like, it happens sometimes.
But I'm talking about two cats is not fragile though, and KD.
LeBron never got injured before he got to the Lakers. Ever.
That's a Laker curse, man. He shouldn't be.
And that's that guy rolled into his ankle. That was just a very unfortunate. That guy.
No, but
man,
even
high ankle.
Even his first year at the Lakers, he got the groin injury.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That's true. But he been funny with his groin though when it comes to like just cramps and pulling muscles and stuff like that. Maybe it was just time.
He got hydrated. I don't know what it is.
Hey, he had cramps in Miami, so. This is his first official.
Don't remind me, bro. Don't
you got that cramp in San Antonio, bro.
Stop it, bro. They cut the AC off on him. Y'all ain't seen it. It was strategic. I don't know how. It wasn't even Silver was around. I think it was still what's his case, David Stern. I don't know how they allowed them to play the game without the AC. But we're not gonna talk about how the Spurs robbed the Heat of that championship.
You sound like someone else today, man. Someone robbed them.
Hey, listen, if they cut the water supply to the football players and Kurt made them think about it, I will be right there with him. They cut off the AC in San Antonio in the summer. Come on, no.
That was an all-time great team, that Spurs team, man. That was an all-time great team.
Yeah, they really put the hurting on them.